Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Tim Reese and Mount Carmel, Illinois. We have music playing, so I won't be able to talk too long here before the game time. But just to welcome you to make sure that the audio is working for you in wherever you're watching and listening from today. Thanks for joining us. Feels like it's been 6 months since I've broadcasted these Ball State Pioneers, but we'll have one 9-inning ball game today. As soon as the music gets cut off, I'll get the starting lineups for you for today's ball game. Meanwhile, just enjoy the beautiful green grass here at Wabash Valley College in Mount Carmel, Illinois. Looks like we are moments away from getting started. I'm not sure if we'll have a national anthem or not, but Tim Reese here in campus of Wabash Valley College. Apparently we're not done with the music. That may have been the loudest music I've ever heard at a ball game. We are set to get started. No national anthem here at Wabash Valley College. Ethan Huddleston leads off. And we are underway with the first pitch, breaking pitch for Mike Sokol. A little windy here in Illinois. 2 balls, no strikes to Pioneers shortstop, hitting .295 from Gallatin, Tennessee. 6'5". That ball is popped up back this way. That should be playable for the catcher, and he will not make that grab out of your vision. He came back too far to the backstop. Had to look up and see if I was going to have to make that catch. Get started here at 2:04 Central Time. Thanks for joining us on YouTube and Twitter. 2-1 pitch, swung on a miss. That's a high fastball that Huddleston could not catch up with. 65 degrees and sunny. 2 balls, 2 strikes to the leadoff batter playing shortstop. There's strike 3 call right down the can, looked like from here. I'm not sure, looked like maybe a changeup. And that will be a strikeout looking to start the game. Or the transfer from Chipola by way of Ohio State University. Mike Sokol, S-O-K-O-L. 6'5", 200-pound right-hander. He will toe the rubber to face Jake Burris. 11-game hitting streak. Breaking pitch sails high. Burris hitting .305. 15 for 35 in that 11-game hitting streak. 2 home runs. Not in that span, just outside of that as he looks at a called strike. On the year, 2 big flies, 33 runs batted in. Reaching base at a 406 clip. Just a little up with that fastball. Pioneers come in with a 29-18 record. They are facing the number 2 ranked Wabash Valley Warriors. Just recently moved up to number 2 in the polls. There's a fastball in the inside corner. Called strike. Wabash Valley comes in with a 39-9 record. They're first in their conference, the Great Rivers Athletic Conference, GRAC. They have an 18-2 record in the conference. Swung on and popped foul down the right field line. That will stay foul down by the Pioneers bullpen. Count remains 2 balls and 2 strikes. On deck, Landon Godsey, first baseman for Vol State. Right behind home plate today for this ball game. Fastball rides inside. We'll have our first full count. Ministries full count. Wind blowing straight out to center field. 330 down the right field line, 340 down the left field line, 370 in the alleys. Swinging a 3-2 foul ball. Creeping over the 53% mark now for the year. 101, now 102 out of 192 full count first pitch foul balls. Another one off the screen. Stays inside of play. Landon Godsey will retrieve the second foul ball. Toss it over to the Warrior dugout. Huddleston, Burris, Godsey, Mizell, Vrabel, Luderman the DH today. Braden Vineyard, Jay Charlotte, and Matt Hall round out the lineup. There's a fastball down low below the knees, and that'll be ball 4, first base runner for Vol State today. Sokol comes in with 6-0 record, 31 1/3 innings, giving up 31 hits, 13 runs. They were earned, has walked 20 but struck out 38, 3.73 ERA. Landon Godsey steps in, hitting .395, one of the top hitters in the TCCAA conference. Fastball misses low. This is the 48th game for the Pioneers, and it's the 48th game for Landon Godsey. Played in every one of them. Leads the team in official at-bats, and he's just hit a ground ball to second base. It should be 2, 4 to 6 to 3, and that will end the first inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on base. We're through 1/2 inning. No score. You're listening to the Vol State Sports Network. Bottom of the first inning, the Warriors scheduled to appear: John LeGrand, Richard Bonamalo Jr., Nicholas Williams, Jorge Rodriguez, Bruce Jellison, Daniel Contreras in the middle of the lineup, Patrick Graham, Aiden Coffey, and Luke Auden. John LeGrand batting from the left side from Bronx, New York, to face left-handed pitcher Caleb Pica, who delivers a first pitch strike. Pica, 6'6" from Nashville, Tennessee, Overton High School. Fastball misses high and away. On for his 10th appearance of the year, second start. He has a 1-0 record, 16 2/3 innings, 1.62 ERA. That pitch in the dirt. Count goes 2 balls and a strike. The grand right fielder for the Warriors, hitting .317. There's a ground ball to Gotze on a couple hops, and he collects and steps on the bag for out number 1. And another outfielder from the Bronx, New York, Richard Bonamalo Jr., second in the average in the GRAC or GRAC. First pitch called strike on the outside corner. Bonamalo Jr. hitting .468. Second only to Ben Higdon of John A. Logan. He squares the bunt. Bunts that one foul off to the right side. He's down in the count, no balls and 2 strikes. Bonamalo, 5'11", 190-pound freshman. Center fielder for Wabash Valley, and the left fielder is on deck, Nicholas Williams. So all 3 outfielders in the 1-2-3 spots, and pitches high. They'll check down at first base. He says no. Bonamalo, second in the conference with 66 hits. Off-speed pitch misses out. Pica in his last appearance went 2 innings, faced 6 batters, struck every one of them out. That was against Jackson State. That ball's in the dirt. Bonamalo does not offer at that pitch, and it brings us to a full count. Ministries, full count. Scored 50 runs, Bonamalo has 12 doubles. It's a base hit into left field. He's just a hitter. Puts 1 on with 1 out. Nicholas Williams steps to the plate. Sitting outside is not the optimum space, but up in that press box it wouldn't be any better. That the loudest speakers that we have been around this year. Fastball to Nicholas Williams, misses high. He's hitting .434, 8 home runs, 61 RBIs. He leads the Warriors in many offensive categories. There's a throw over to first base. Bonamalo back in time. Williams leads the team in runs scored, doubles, home runs, RBIs, total bases, slugging percentage, and on-base average, and even throws in hit by pitches just for the fun of it. There's a throw back over to first base as Bonamalo was creeping off the base. Bonamalo leads the team with 33 stolen bases in 35 attempts, and they steal a lot of bases. In 48 games, they've stolen 125 out of 144 attempts. Bonamalo hopping off, and there's going to be another throw over to first base, and same result. 1-0 count to Williams, 6 foot, 205 pound sophomore from Mount Pleasant, Wisconsin. There it goes. Throw down to second base from the knees. Bonamalo in there safely. Pitch was outside. You can get a good jump off of a left-handed pitcher if you guess right. Bonamalo had a good jump there. So a runner at second. Right-handed hitting Lucas Williams. Or Nicholas Williams, I'm sorry. Strike called. We don't have a Lucas. I know we have a Luke Odden, the number 9 hole hitter, shortstop. On deck is Jorge Rodriguez, first baseman. Team batting average for Wabash Valley is .345. Not a huge home run hitting team. Is pretty big park right here. Breaking pitch misses down. Vineyard able to keep that ball in front. Count now 3 balls and a strike to the 3-hole hitter. Williams playing in his 49th game, which is also the 49th game for Wabash Valley. 3-1 pitch is laced into left field. Jay Charla out there, and he comes up with it. The throw in is not in time, and Wabash Valley leads 1-0. So no public address announcer, but we are going to play the heck out of some walk-up songs. And walk-up songs is what gets you kicked off of YouTube. That pitch swung on and fouled off. Public address announcing does not, but all that music will get us kicked off, and A.J. Fawson back at Vol State would not be happy. 0-1 pitch down low with Williams leading off at first base. RBI single in the left field. First batter LeGrand grounded out to first base unassisted, and then 2 singles with a stolen base in between. There's a breaking pitch in there for a called strike. And Pica now ahead of Jorge Rodriguez from Ponce, Puerto Rico. Sophomore, 6 foot, 215 pounds. He is the first baseman today. There's a throw over to first base. Williams back in time. He's stolen 17 of 24 attempts. Rodriguez, 7 home runs, 39 RBIs, hitting .347. That pitch high pops out of the glove of Braden Vineyard. Williams not going anywhere. Caleb Pica needs a ground ball just like Mike Sokol did in the top of the first inning. Vrabel and Huddleston on the left side. The runner goes. There's a breaking pitch called a ball. Throw down to second base. Not in time. Runner again in scoring position, and we'll have a full count. Ministries full count. On deck, Bruce Jellison, the designated hitter. Pica looks back at second. 3-2 pitch is fouled off. 2 out of 3 early in today's game. Just getting started, scheduled for 9 innings. Vol State playing the last midweek game of the year. Come back home and play Motlow State this weekend. Another full count first, second pitch foul ball. Play Motlow State sometime this weekend. I'm not sure if it'll be Friday, Saturday, Sunday, or Sunday, Monday, as we have some weather issues coming to Middle Tennessee. That'll be the end of the regular season. Then the conference tournament begins Sunday, May 7th, at least for 4 teams. Pioneers hoping not to be in that group this year. 3-2 pitch, swung on and missed. Actually foul tipped into the glove, says the home plate umpire. Bruce Jellison steps to the plate with 2 outs and a runner at second base. 5'11", 185-pound freshman from Heartland, Michigan. Hitting .374, 2 home runs, 30 RBIs. Pika looking to get ahead, but misses with that breaking pitch, low and in. Caleb Pika, 6'6", 170-pound freshman. Son of John and April Pika. Swing and a miss on a fastball right down the middle. Pika comes in with 28 strikeouts in those 16 2/3 innings. Now has his 29th in now over 17 innings. Pretty good clip. Misses with the changeup. Blocked nicely by Braden Vineyard behind the plate. Jay Charla in left, Jake Burris in center, Chase Mizell in right. Carter Vrabel at third, Ethan Huddleston at short, Matt Hall at second, Landon Gotze at first, Braden Vineyard behind the plate. Big Caleb Pika for his second start of the year on the mound here in Mount Carmel, Illinois. Don't try to find us in Mount Carmel, Indiana. There's a fastball that apparently missed up. I'm right at field level today. Normally I'm higher up, so I don't see the up and down pitches as well. I see the outside corners, inside corners more. 3-1 pitch. That is also up. First walk of the ball game by Caleb Pika. Daniel Contreras steps to the plate, 6th batter to do so for Wabash Valley here in the bottom of the first. They've only pushed 1 across, but have 2 runners on with 2 outs. Contreras hitting .294. Does not have a home run, 22 RBIs. Looks at a first pitch fastball right down Broadway. Contreras, 5'11", 210-pound sophomore from Rockford, Illinois. He transferred from Iowa Western. He is the catcher today for Wabash Valley. Runner from second goes, a hit and run, and that ball is sliced into the Pioneers dugout. Does not appear as though anyone was injured. Williams will head back to second base, and Jellison trots back to first. Clearly a hit and run there. As Contreras trying to go to that right side, which is wide open with Matt Hall covering second. 0-2 count now. Pika delivers, fastball high. On deck, Patrick Graham, the second baseman, and Caleb Pika would love to see him next inning. 1 run in on 2 hits. 2 and 3 whole hitters, the top hitters in the lineup, collected those hits. Another fastball high. Richard Bonamalo scored on the single by Nicholas Williams. Wind now is blowing toward right field from center field. 2-2 pitch, swung on and fouls back into Braden Vineyard's glove for strike 3 and out number 3. 1 run, 2 hits, no errors, 2 runners left on base. After 1, Wabash Valley leads 1-0. You're listening to the Vol State Sports Network. Tim Reese back at Mount Carmel in Illinois. I don't know why I want to say we're in Indiana. Breaking pitch to former Warrior Jace Mizell, misses. Low and outside, Jace Mizell, sophomore from Metropolis, Illinois. Now we'll look at a 2-0 count. Mizell, Vrabel, and Luderman scheduled for the Pioneers. Mizell hitting .359 for the season. He sees a pitch right down the middle, foul tips it into the glove of Daniel Contreras. Count goes 2 balls and a strike. Pioneers had 1 base runner in the top of the first. That was Jake Burris, who walked, but he was quickly erased on a 4-6-3 double play off the bat of Landon Godsey. Mizell now a pitch away from being the second batter walked by Mike Sokol. 3-1 pitch. Drilled out to center field. That will send Richard Balamalo back, and he will watch that one sail over the fence for the 16th home run of the year for Jace Mizell. Leads the Tennessee Community College Athletic Association in that category. 16th home run. A solo shot to tie this ball game up, and that's the Framework Athletics first run of the game for the Pioneers. That pitch was right down the middle of the plate, and Jace Mizell did what good hitters do to those kinds of pitches. Don't see a sign out there as to how deep that fence is, but with 370 in the alleys, it's at least 390, I would expect, out there in dead center. First pitch to another former Warrior, Carter Vrabel, right down in the zone. Little slider fouled off to the right side. Vrabel now down in the count. No balls and 2 strikes. Carter Vrabel, I think, left in the fall a couple of years ago. There's a pitch in the left-handed batter's box called ball, which is exactly what that pitch needs to be called, but not always called a ball. Carter Vrabel The ground ball up the middle, and that will sneak through. Carter Vrabel extends his hitting streak to now 8 straight ball games with a single. 2 straight hits off of Sokol. Brings Landon Luderman, left-handed hitter from Knoxville, Tennessee, to the plate. Luderman playing in game number 16. Been in the DH spot when he plays, hitting .231, and he fouls one just off to the left side. Stayed within the fenced area, but no play could be made on that by third baseman Aiden Coffey or Nicholas Williams out there in left field. On deck, Braden Vineyard. Luderman, a good-looking hitter. Fastball in the inside corner this time. Called strike. Luderman DH'd in the middle game. Fouls that one back in the mid, so 3 pitches and down goes Landon Luderman with the first out. Second strikeout for Sokol. Luderman had a single in 3 at-bats in the loss to Cleveland State last weekend. There's a fastball on the outside corner. Vineyard watches that one. Not the pitch he wants to swing at unless he's the hit and run's on there. That would have been a perfect pitch for the hit and run. Runner goes. Pitch is up. Throw down as a hop, and Carter Vrabel in head first. Thought maybe you'd be able to see it better with that zoomed camera. Don't think you can see it at all on the all-field camera. Well, 1-1 count now to Vineyard with a runner in scoring position. Breaking pitch called strike. Vrabel here for just a part of a season, I think in the fall, and then came back home and transferred to Vol State along with his roommate Jace Mizell. They're both in their redshirt sophomore years and having fantastic years. Breaking pitch fouled off to the right side. Half a second there, I was thinking Vinny wasn't going to take a cut at that one, and I was cocking my leg sitting back here behind the backstop. Good looking breaking pitch to drive into a gap. Left fielder playing way over into left center field. The left field line is wide open, and there's a swing and a miss on a high fastball. Tough pitch to hit right there. 2 outs. And Big J Charla stepping to the plate. Charla from Murfreesboro went to Riverdale High School. Charla, the left fielder, hitting .288. There's a play at second base. Vrabel back in time. Charlotte, 11 RBIs, looking to pick up RBI number 12 right here with 2 outs. Swing and a miss. Saw his dad and sister at Cleveland State this past weekend, Jake and Rainey. Mr. Lynn had to work in the school system. That fastball was taller than 5'9". That went way over the head of Jay Charla. On deck, Matt Hall, the second baseman. See if it's Charlotte time early here in the second inning. There's a tapper that will not get over the head of the 6'5" right-hander. And he will underhand to first baseman Rodriguez for out number 3. 1 run, 2 hits. Tie ball game. Patrick Graham steps in to face Caleb Pica here in the bottom of the second inning. Tie score 1-1. First pitch from Pica in there on the outside corner. Called strike. Patrick Graham, Aiden Coffey, and Luke Auden, 7, 8, and 9 hitters for Wabash Valley. Patrick Graham hitting .353, 3 home runs, and 19 RBIs. 5'11", 180-pound freshman from Naperville, Illinois. There's a ground ball to third base, and that hops over the 6'3" glove of Carter Vrabel, or at least the glove of the 6'3" Carter Vrabel. Vrabel looked like he had a shot at that, and then all of a sudden it hit something, either in the dirt or off the grass, and hopped right over his glove. Pica gets ahead in the count to Aiden Coffey. It looked all the world like it was going to be a ground out to third base, but instead a single in the left field. Fastball misses high and outside. Aiden Coffey from Albany, Indiana. Transfer from Coastal Carolina. Says he's 6'4". I don't know about 6'4", but pretty good sized fella. Maybe he is, as he backs away from the umpire and he looks back and says, "Did you realize how tall that guy said I was?" It was well below my knees, but 1 ball, 2 strikes. 6'6", Caleb Pica. Breaking pitch swung on and missed. Pica with strikeout number 3. Luke Auden, number 9 hole hitter, shortstop, steps in, hitting .351, 1 home run, 25 RBIs. 1 out, 1 on. Pitch misses high and away. Auden, a 6'1", 175-pound sophomore from Phoenix, Arizona. The only player that I saw in looking at last year's 2 box scores between these 2 teams who played in that game for Wabash Valley. Wabash Valley came to Gallatin Beat the Pioneers 17-12 and 12-11. Pika missed with their fastball up. 2 balls and a strike. With Patrick Graham on at first base. On deck, leadoff batter John LeGrand. And a throw over to first base had Graham leaning, but he's able to get back. Graham, 1 stolen base. That's the only one he's attempted. Fouled off to the right side. Graham plays a position at second base. You would think he'd have a few more. He's playing in game number 20, so apparently hadn't been an everyday player the whole year. So he hops off of first. Pika's going to throw over. Graham single to begin the inning. Coffey struck out. Now Auden fouls that one off to the right side with Graham running on the play. Softball field is just back to our right. Looks like the college is, maybe that's the gym in left field. There's a breaking pitch that stayed just a little bit too high. Well, the Full Count Ministries, full count. Not sure what's back behind us or to the left, but doesn't appear to be anything too close. It would be damaged with any MGM Industries foul balls. Might be a lot of throws over to first base with a team that has stolen 127 bases now. Full count pitch. Full count. First pitch. Foul ball. 3 for 4. So far, we are getting that percentage up and up. Warriors have won 13 in a row and are now the number 2 ranked team in Division I in junior college. Walter State right behind him. Throw over to first base. Central Florida is now the new number 1 team in all the land after Walter State took 2 losses on Sunday against Dyersburg State at Dyersburg State. They were able to come back and win the 3rd game of the series. 3-2 pitch, adding the corners, called strike. Throw down to second base is on the third base side of second. So 2 outs. John LeGrand steps in. He grounded out to Landon Godsey in the bottom of the 1st inning. Lefty on lefty matchup. Couple Bronx, New York natives back to back, LeGrand and Bonamalo. Caleb Pika, long look. There's a breaking pitch. Umpire balk right there. He was about to call that one a strike. And then he held up. Count goes 2 balls and no strikes. One of the best hitters in the nation on deck. You want to go after this guy. There's a called strike. LeGrand started to go and held up. LeGrand playing in game number 37. It's his 30th start of the year. Not sure how long he's been up in that one hole, but it has been a number of times. There's a called strike, and he's now down in the count, 2 balls, 2 strikes. LeGrand has struck out 24 times, has walked 25, on base average of almost 500. 2-2 pitch. Swung and popped up. That's playable. It's probably foul territory. Vrabel back trying to make an over-the-shoulder catch. Makes the catch on one hop and then gets his uniform dirty. LeGrand will step back with a 2-ball, 2-strike count. Carter Vrabel probably need a little bit of a breather. He ran a good 90 feet for that ball. A lot of foul territory here down both lines. Big park. At least on the inside of the fence. On the outside, not so much. Apparently don't get a lot of fans here. Don't have a lot of places to sit. But I'm sure happy I got a place to set up and broadcast for you folks today. Thanks for joining us today on YouTube and Twitter, the Vol State Sports Network. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Another pop fly off to the right side. That will get out of play. 1 run, 2 hits, no errors for Pioneers. 1 run, 3 hits, no errors for Wabash Valley. Ball State trying to put a 0 on the board here in the bottom of the second. Pika 1 pitch away from doing just that. Does down, and we'll get another full count. Ministries full count. Thanks to all of our sponsors this year. Full Count Ministries, Line to Line, Framework Athletics, Do Dat Communications. The 3-2 pitch is apparently inside. Richard Bonamalo Jr., center fielder, steps in. He singled in the first. Now up with 2 on, 2 out. Pops one down that right field line. It is twisting. Jace Mizell will not be able to make the catch, but it drops in foul territory. Bonamalo now down in the count. No balls and 1 strike. He singled in the first, stole second, and scored on Nicholas Williams' single in the left field. Give Wabash Valley an early 1-0 lead. Chase Mizell playing relatively deep out there in right field. Or so it seems from my low vantage point. Because fastball misses low. Bonamalo Jr. 5'11". He might be stretching that a little bit. He might actually be 5'10". 1 pitch, a breaking pitch in for a called strike. Force play at any base, 2 outs. Patrick Graham, who stole second, is still standing down there. John LeGrand at first. Pitch is driven out to center field, but Jake Burris back and now in will make the catch for out number 3. No runs, 1 hit. No errors, 2 runners left on base. We're through 2, scheduled for 9. It's all tied up 1-1. You're listening to the Vol State Sports Network. Leading off the top of the third for the Pioneers, Matt Hall, second baseman from Lexington, Kentucky. Matt Hall playing in game number 27. Started all but one of those games. Facing Mike Sokol, first pitch. Breaking pitch misses low and outside. Broadcasting from Mount Carmel, Illinois, the home of Wabash Valley College, the number 2 team in Division I. Fastball misses low and or outside to Matt Hall. Hall hitting .219, 14 hits on the year, 2 doubles, 4 RBIs, 10 walks, been hit 5 times. He'll look at a strike there. On deck, Ethan Huddleston, the leadoff batter. Hall trying to set the table for the top of the lineup. 2-1 pitch coming from Sokol. Ground to second base. Patrick Graham up and over to Rodriguez for out number 1. Huddleston struck out looking in the first. Hello to Mama Shannon Zettel. Maybe big brother Noah listening in. His girlfriend Rachel might also be tuned in. Fastball catches the letters on the outside corner. Or at least that's what the home plate umpire thought. Breaking pitch drilled in the left field for a base hit. Huddleston got him a hanger that time. A third hit for Vol State. Puts 1 on with 1 out. Jake Burris steps to the plate. He walked in the first but was erased at second base on the double play. Comes in with an 11-game hitting streak. From Grove City, Ohio, just outside of Columbus, the pride of Grove City. It drilled down the right field line, but that will go foul just over the bullpen. Bullpen out in play here, at least down the visitors' side, as Noah Eatman is getting warmed up down there. Caleb Pika might just be going to throw over to first base, and Huddleston back in time. The home bullpen is outside of the fenced area. Appears as though it's out of my view. I'm not sure how many innings Sokol will go. Another throw over to first base. Burris back in time. Jake Burris, 12 stolen bases in 13 attempts. Pioneers have stolen about half the number of bases, 69, but only been caught 3 times all year. At least that's what the statistics say. There's a fastball down. And I know at least 2 of those 3 times that the Pioneers have been caught were on first and third situations, and they scored a run each time the runner was out at second. Typically caught in a rundown, as I recall. Another throw over to first. On deck, Landon Godsey. Breaky pitch. That was the pitch that Huddleston hit into left field right there. Jake Burris just could not pull the trigger on that breaking pitch. Nicholas Williams in left, Richard Bonamalo Jr. in center, John LeGrand in right, Aiden Coffey at third, Luke Odden at shortstop. Another throw over to first base, not in time. Throw back from Jorge Rodriguez at first. Had Sokol doing a good stretch. Patrick Graham at second, Daniel Contreras behind the plate. Mike Sokol on the mound. Burris looks at a breaking pitch inside with Huddleston bluffing. A steal attempt, but he does not go. Not sure if he just didn't get a good enough jump or what, but 2-1 pitch, probably a pretty good time to go. Now 2-2, another throw over to first base. Assistant coach John Ripel down at the first base coach's box. Head coach Jim McGuire down at third base. Braden Kell, the pitching coach, in the dugout. 2-2 pitch. Tap down to first base, and it will be called foul. The throw down to second base is a moot point. Huddleston will head back to first base. First baseman Rodriguez is asking home plate umpire why he thought that was foul, and I think he kept his feet in fair territory, but it's not where his feet are. It's where the ball is when it touches him. So we'll do it all again. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out, and Ethan Huddleston on at first base. Tied up here in the top of the 3rd inning. Runner does not go. Throw is outside, and the throw down to first base gets by Rodriguez, and Huddleston will get down to second base before LeGrand can get that one back in to the infield. So an error on the catcher gets Ethan Huddleston to second base. First error for either team. So Huddleston now in scoring position. Breaking pitch called, strike 3. Jake Burris thought he was getting a second walk, but instead he gets the 4th strikeout by Mike Sokol, and now 2 outs. Landon Gotze steps in from Indianapolis, Indiana, the recent commitment to Belmont University. First baseman / catcher, and just an all-around hitter this year. Came in hitting .395, which was 2nd in the conference, 3rd in the conference in number of hits, and slices one, the second one that's gotten into the Vol State dugout. Most of the guys are standing or sitting right in front of the low fence in front of the dugout, but if you're sitting back there, you better be paying attention. On deck, Jace Mizell. Huddleston leads off second, and that breaking pitch will hit Landon Gotze and put runners now at first and second for Jace Mizell. That is the 9th time that Landon Gotze's been hit by a pitch, which leads the club. Jace Mizell picked up home run number 16 of the year and RBI number 54. Leads the conference in home runs and is 3rd in RBIs. Steps in against Sokol. He saw a fastball right down the middle of the plate that he took a hack at and hit just to the right of the batter's eye over the field. There's a throw back to second base, and that will get into center field. But Ethan Huddleston had his head down, not looking, but Bonamalo Jr. gets in on it quickly. I thought I taught him during those 4 years I coached him is to expect a bad throw. If you expect it, you're not surprised when it happens. There's another fastball right down the middle of the plate. Mizell not ready to take a hack at that one. But that's pretty much the pitch that he deposited over that center field fence for home run number 16. Tied this ball game up in the 2nd inning. Fouls that one off, an MGM Industries foul ball. Now down in the count, no balls and 2 strikes. I'm going to say Sokol's probably going to come with a breaking pitch low and outside, see if Mizell will chase. If he gets something on the outside part of the plate, he's got a wide open right side of the infield with Graham holding Huddleston on at second. They are setting up outside, but it's a fastball way out. 2 outs, 2 on. Top of the third inning. Mizell is able to reach. Carter Vrabel is on deck. There's a breaking pitch. Tapped over to the Warriors dugout. Count remains 1 ball, 2 strikes. Middle of the week game. Last one of the year till conference play, which is being hosted at Volunteer State this year. So we will have all the broadcasts. That breaking pitch is high. Contreras wanted to steal that one, but Mizell started to go, but held up on the high breaking pitch. Count goes 2 balls, now 2 strikes. 2 outs, 2 on. Not keeping up with the errors out on the scoreboard apparently. Is still showing 1, 3, and 0 for each team. And there's a fastball that's going to be called a strike. And it's never a strike. It's 4 baseballs off the plate. We'll be back. Summit Concrete called to the bullpen for the Pioneers. Noah Eatman, freshman right-hander from Parrish, Florida. Eatman on in relief of Caleb Pika, who went 2 innings, gave up 1 run, 3 hits. Eatman misses with the first pitch to Nicholas Williams as Wabash Valley brings 3, 4, and 5 to the plate here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Breaking pitch right down the middle, called strike. Noah Eatman on for his 12th appearance, all in relief. 23 2/3 innings, giving up 24 hits, but only 8 runs which were earned. Walked 4, struck out 19. Misses with that fastball, 2 balls and a strike. Has a 3.04 ERA. Nicholas Williams singled in the first, drove in the only run. Williams now looking at a 3-1 count. Eatman, 6'1", 210-pound freshman, son of Dave and Monique Eatman. Has a papa in Inglewood and a Gigi in Parrish. And he has walked the first batter that he sees here in the bottom of the 3rd. Jorge Rodriguez steps in. One on and nobody out. Rodriguez struck out swinging in the first. Even from the stretch, fastball that will come back to hit the screen. On deck, DH Bruce Jellison. Couple of Puerto Rican players here on Wabash Valley roster. There's a pitch out. Nothing doing at first base. Williams stole a bag in the first, but not going on the 0-1 pitch, but now might be a good time. Most teams will not pitch out twice in a row. There's a throw over, and Williams back in time. Head coach for Wabash Valley is Aaron Biddle. This is his first year as the man in charge, the 8th year with the program. Pitching coach is Jared Proctor. 1-1. Breaking pitch popped up out into shallow left center field. This is going to be trouble. Jay Sharla will pick it up on one hop. It is a bloop single for Jorge Rodriguez. Bruce Jellison, the DH, steps in. Runners at first and second, and nobody out. He walked in the first but was stranded when the on-deck batter Daniel Contreras struck out for out number 3. Fastball gets in on Jellison pretty quickly, and he swings and misses. That had a little giddy up to it. One to one, we are in the bottom of the 3rd inning, scheduled for 9 innings. And that pitch will hit Bruce Jellison. Braden Kale will come out of the Pioneers dugout. And I guess we won't be talking. I don't know if they're going to play some music or what. Not sure what that was. Bases loaded, though, with nobody out, as Noah Eatman has dug himself a pretty sizable hole. Walked Nicholas Williams to lead off the inning, then Jorge Rodriguez with a bloop single in the left center field. Now a hit batter has loaded the bases for 6, 7, and 8. Let's see if Noah Eatman can pull a Chase Birdwell here and have bases loaded and not allow a run, which Chase Birdwell has done twice this year, but it wasn't Chase Birdwell that loaded the bases. So the meeting on the mound is over. Daniel Contreras steps in. Eatman looking for a strikeout. Instead, he gets a dirt ball that gets by Braden Vineyard, and everybody will move up a base. And Wabash Valley will take a 2-1 lead on the wild pitch. Contreras might be saying that was an RBI you took away from me. Still nobody out. Now no force on the bases. Eatman misses with that fastball. And there is a base open, but on deck batter is Patrick Graham, who's hitting .353. He's already singled in this ball game. trying to stay down at the knees, and that is about shin high. Now the count, 3 balls, no strikes. Noah Eatman in a world of hurt right now. 3-0, and that's in the dirt. Blocked by Vineyard. Bases back loaded again. We'll have a semi-concrete call to the bullpen as Coach McGuire is out. And Noah Eatman will have an appearance that he wants to forget quickly. Landon Tucker will come out of the Ball State bullpen. And we'll be right back after this break. Patrick Graham steps in with bases loaded and nobody out. 1 run already in for the Warriors. Landon Tucker now on the rubber from LaGrange, Georgia. Sophomore side armor, and that ball gets by Vineyard, but Rodriguez down at third base did not read that as a ball to try to score on. I think that was a good call on his part. The ball that's going away from him, the depth perception is not as good. Tucker on for his 12th appearance. Ball's drilled out to center field. Back goes Burris. He looks like he has it measured, and he does. Makes the catch. Throw will come into the infield, but everybody will move up a base. A sacrifice fly. Aiden Coffey steps into the plate with 1 out and runners at second and third. He struck out swinging in the second inning. Pop up in the infield. Huddleston is under it and will make the catch. Runner starts to go, but he holds up. Switch hitting shortstop Luke Odden Now with 2 outs, he struck out looking in the second. Landon Tucker trying to get out of this with only giving up a 1 run. Auden squares the bunt, pulls the bat back on the tailing fastball that goes outside. Tuck misses inside. Count goes 2 balls and a strike. On deck, leadoff batter John LeGrand. Tucker with 10 2/3 innings coming into today's game. 8 hits, 7 runs, 5 earned, 9 walks, and now 3 balls, no strikes. Struck out 9 batters. 4.22 ERA. That'll be ball 4. Bases will be loaded once again. Leadoff batter John LeGrand, who's grounded out and walked, steps in, the 8th hitter of the inning. 2 runs in, but 3 big runners on base with 2 outs. Landon Tucker trying to close out this inning, misses outside. On deck, Richard Bonamalo Jr. Pioneers definitely want to see him lead off the bottom of the 4th. That one's tapped foul back to the backstop. So Bruce Jellison on at third, Daniel Contreras down at second base, and Luke Auden at first base. Swing and a miss. Not sure if you folks can see on that camera angle the pitch coming in. I sure can't, but strike 3 called, and Landon Tucker, the LT, the lieutenant, gets the call and ends the inning with 2 runs on just 1 hit. No errors. The big wild pitch. And 3 runners left on. That's now 7 runners left on base for Wabash Valley. Going to the 4th. Carter Vrabel to lead off the top of the fourth inning for Vol State, now down 3-1 after giving up 2 runs in the bottom of the third. 4 hits now for Wabash Valley. New pitcher on for the Warriors, Maddox Pennington. Gets a called strike. Pennington, a 5'10", 165 pounds sophomore from Cincinnati, Ohio. There's a drive out to center field. Bonamalo over to his right. Catches that line drive off the bat of Vrabel for out number 1. Carter smoked that one. He's got it up in the air a little bit too much. Carter extended his hitting streak in the second with a line drive into center field. Actually, it was a ground ball, hard hit ground ball. Now has an 8-game hitting streak. Landon Luderman steps in. He struck out in the second. Fouls that one off. He's seen 4 pitches, and all 4 have been strikes. On deck, Braden Vineyard. All State's lone tally is Jace Mizell's 16th home run of the year. Luderman swings through that one. You got 1 ball, 2 strikes up on the scoreboard, but the count is no balls and 2 strikes. And now 6 pitches for Landon Luderman. He strikes out on that low and inside pitch from Pennington. First strikeout for Maddox Pennington, second out of the inning. Braden Vineyard, who also was a strikeout victim for Mike Sokol, who went 3 innings, gave up 3 hits, 1 run. It was earned, walked 1, struck out 5, and did hit a batter. Pennington's pitch to Vineyard misses high. Braden Vineyard from Paducah, Kentucky. True sophomore. The brother of Mason Vineyard, who's in the New York Yankees organization, and I think their regular A team, single A team. I believe Mason Vineyard played here at Wabash Valley before moving on to Western Kentucky, where he was not drafted. He was signed as a free agent last year. 2 balls and a strike to the Pioneer catcher, Big J Charla, standing on deck. Time called. Pennington delivers the pitch anyway, as I would recommend all pitchers do. Is Vineyard apparently has a hair problem or a bug problem. I'm going to guess bug, because he's got beautiful hair. Nobody on, 2 out, top of the 4th inning. Pennington pitched in one of those 2 games a year ago at Vol State. There's a ground ball that will hop up to Auden, and he will throw on to first base to get Vineyard. Slowly hit ground ball. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on base. We're through 3.5, 3-1 Wabash Valley. Landon Tucker back out there for the Pioneers to face 2, 3, and 4 in the lineup. Richard Bonamalo Jr., 1 for 2. Singled and scored in the first, lined out to Jake Burris in center field in the second inning. Looks at a called strike from side armor LT Landon Tucker. Bonamalo Jr., Williams, and Rodriguez scheduled for Wabash Valley to face the Pioneers here in the bottom of the fourth. They lead 3-1. 1 in the first, 2 in the second. Breaking pitch swung on a foul, tipped off the glove of Braden Vineyard. You don't see a ton of side armors, so you don't have to really throw that hard. Tuck does not. He pops that one up. That could be playable. No, it will get on top of the Vol State dugout and get out of play. Tucker would have loved to have stolen an easy pop out in foul territory there. Bonamalo, 468 coming into today's game. If you go 2 for 5, your batting average drops. Tuck just missed with that one. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Sidearm breaking pitch just off the end of the bat. Tucker able to get that spinner and underhand to Landon Gotze for out number 1. Left fielder Nicholas Williams steps in. He has reached base both times he's been up, singled in the first and walked and scored in the third inning. Tucker misses with the first side arm sweeper. 1-0 pitch, misses down low. Tucker came on in relief of Noah Eatman, who did not retire a batter and faced 4 in the third. Gave up a sacrifice fly, then got a pop out to the shortstop, walked a batter, and then struck out a batter. Only 2 runs did score. Braden Vineyard having trouble hanging on to Landon Tucker's pitches. They're going every which way. Throws that sidearm fastball, and there's good 6 inches of break back toward the batter. 3-0 pitch, catches the knees on the inside corner. Williams came in hitting .434. Leads the team in home runs with 8. And now has drawn his second walk. Jorge Rodriguez, the first baseman, steps in. He's 1 for 2, singled and scored in the third. Had the only base hit in that 2-run third inning where they sent 8 batters to the plate. Curveball misses down low. Tuck definitely not hanging those curveballs. There were 3 walks and a hit batter to go along with that 1 single for Wabash Valley. Fastball rides back in on Rodriguez, fouled down the third base line. Actually toward the dugout. 1-1 pitch, another breaking pitch. And it is fouled to the same young man who got the first one. Duck ahead in the count, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Pioneers look for a ground ball to a middle infielder to get out of this inning. Wabash Valley, and they got him picked off. They don't need that. Landon Gotze will run him down to second base and throw to Ethan Huddleston for out number 2 as Williams picked off. 1 to 3 to 6. And now nobody on, 2 out. Count is 1 ball, 2 strikes to Rodriguez. Big thanks to Zach Williams, who was amazing in his ability to help me get my scoreboard corrected. I had a bad font going on this scoreboard, and called my broadcast partner for my summer gig. Just as I called him, I ended up shutting the program down and then bringing it back up, and voila, it was fixed. He's that good. A Full Count Ministries, full count. And a ball 4. Jellison steps in, and this is his 3rd at-bat. He doesn't have an official one yet. He has walked and been hit by a pitch. That was Landon Tucker's 3rd walk of the game. Breaking pitch fouled off the padding. Braden Kale, the son of Randy Kale, will come over and pick that ball off the warning track that looks like crushed gravel. A 1 pitch down low, blocked by Vineyard. About 3.5 hour trip up from Gallatin this morning to Illinois. I thought it was Eastern time zone here, but apparently not. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs, 1 runner on. Swing and a miss on a low fastball. That never looked good to me back here. Not sure why Jellison was swinging at that, but he did. Pioneers trying to retire Bruce Jellison for the first time, the designated hitter. Here's a ground ball to Huddleston, and he will have that one glance off of his glove for an error. Catcher Daniel Contreras steps to the plate with 2 out and 2 on. That ground ball to Ethan Huddleston at short, just like it stayed down where he thought it might hop up just a little bit, but just glanced off the glove as he was charging it. That ball is tapped back to Landon Tucker, who throws a low underhand toss to Landon Gotze, but it gets the job done. And no runs, no hits, 1 error, and 2 runners left on base. We're through 4, 3-1 Wabash Valley. You're listening to the Vol State Sports Network. Big J Charlotte leads off for the Pioneers here in the top of the 5th inning. Pioneers down 3-1. Maddox Pennington still on the mound. And Big J Charlotte, first pitch swinging, drives one out into right center field for a base hit. Charlotte time. He's now 1 for 2. 4th hit for the Pioneers. 1 run, 4 hits, 1 error for Vol State. 3 runs, 4 hits, 1 error for Wabash Valley. Matt Hall steps in. Second baseman, he grounded out to his counterpart in his first at-bat. Sees a fastball go high. On deck, Ethan Huddleston. Thank you for joining the Vol State Sports Network on YouTube and Twitter today. Weren't able to broadcast this past weekend up at Cleveland. There's a ground ball base hit in the left field. Matt Hall drives one between the third baseman and shortstop, giving the Pioneers runners at first and second with nobody out. Huddleston 1 for 2. Singled in the third, reached third base on a failed pickoff attempt by the catcher on a back pick, but was stranded at second base. Pennington retired the 3 batters he faced in the 4th and has now given up base hits to the first 2 he faces here in the 5th. And Huddleston will lay one down. That's a great bunt. Pennington up. He will throw that one away into right field. That will get down by the tarp. 1 run will score. Here comes Matt Hall. Huddleston is being held up at third base. The Pioneer dugout looking for the Little League home run. But this game is tied on the bunt single by Ethan Huddleston. No RBIs. Ball thrown down to right field. Be a 2-base throwing error on the pitcher. Jake Burris stepping to the plate. Still nobody out. A tie ball game. He will square the bunt, and he will put one down. It will get green. Nobody covering second base. I don't know that he had his foot on the base, but the out is called by the home plate umpire, or the base umpire. I believe I would ask for a conference between the 2 umpires to see if second baseman actually had touched first base. But that is no sacrifice bunt as Huddleston stays at third. That is a 1-4 put out for out number 1. Landon Gotze steps in. He sees a breaking pitch that he wishes he'd have back. Those ended up going low and outside. So not the best pitch to be hacking at, especially first pitch of the at-bat. Infield is in. Here's a breaking pitch in the dirt, blocked nicely by Contreras. So 3 hits in the inning and 1 very costly error have played 2 runs for Vol State. Popped up out into right field. This might get in another run. It will. John LeGrand out in right field makes the catch. Huddleston tags. Throw comes to second base, but Ethan Huddleston able to score the go-ahead run. Pioneers now lead 4-3. Landon Gotze had 2 sac flies in one game. No, that was Chase Mizell who's stepping to the plate. He had 3 strikeouts and 2 sac flies in the game. Nobody on, 2 outs. First pitch to Mizell in there for a called strike. Mizell is 1 for 2, homered in the second, struck out looking in the third. There's a ground ball, base hit into center field. Mizell now 2 for 3. His old stomping grounds here at Wabash Valley. Head coach Aaron Biddle was assistant coach a couple years ago when he and Carter Vrabel were here. Another pioneer, Caleb Hawkins, was also a Warrior for a short period of time a couple of years ago, and then he transferred after his first fall season, transferred to Dyersburg State, played there in the spring, and then came to Vol State last year along with Carter Vrabel and Jace Mizell. Pioneers glad to have them, all three. Vrabel 1 for 2, singled and lined out to the center fielder. That pitch will be down in the dirt and get by to the right. Mizell will move on down to second base on the wild pitch. Contreras, that was going to be a tough play for him. Ball was yanked pretty far outside. He got one little bit of his shin guard on that one. So Jay Charla, Matt Hall, and Ethan Huddleston, the first three batters in the inning, have all scored. Vrabel came close, within a little hair on a chinny chin to tying Landon Godsey with the lead in hit by pitches. Godsey hit earlier for the 9th time this year. Vrabel has 8. 2-0 pitch from Maddox Pennington, down low. Oh, sorry, that was a 3-0 pitch. Vrabel will step on first base with a walk, and out of the Warrior bullpen will come, I believe that's head coach Aaron Biddle. That's the first walk by Pennington. Puts runners at first and second. And Landon Luderman, we will have a new pitcher, and it will be a left-hander, so we might have a new hitter. We'll take a break, tell you about the new pitcher when we return on the Vol State Sports Network. New pitcher on for Wabash Valley, number 44, Aiden Deacons, 6'3", 185-pound freshman from Middletown, Delaware, and he will face a pinch hitter in the DH spot. Brody Melton out of Tullahoma, Tennessee, will come on a pinch hit for Landon Luderman. With 2 outs and 2 on here in the top of the 5th, 3 runs already in as they have cleared the scoreboard. Apparently going to start all over. Deacons steps off just as he was starting to get into his stretch. Luderman struck out in his only 2 plate appearances. Brody Melton, the freshman, back up first baseman to Landon Gotze. 2 home runs on the year. 2 solo shots. One at Cumberland and one at Cleveland this just past weekend. Swings at a pitch that would have been low and inside, I believe. Mizell on at second base. He singled and wild pitch to second, but Carter Vrabel walked behind him. Melton with 6 RBIs, looking for 1 or 2 right here, and he'll look at a fastball perfectly placed outside corner at the knees. Going to have to be ready for that pitch again. Melton playing in game number 19 of the year. One-two pitch. That hits Brody Melton. Either way, runners were going to be moving up, but Melton will be plunked. That is Brody Melton's 2nd bruise of the year, and the bases are now loaded. Braden Vineyard steps in. He's 0 for 2, a strikeout and a ground out. Maddox Pennington responsible for the runners at 2nd and 3rd. And Deacons has just hit the first batter that he sees, facing another right-handed hitter in Braden Vineyard, and Deacons misses with that offering. Deacons on for his 12th appearance of the year. Has 1 save, a 6.59 ERA. And it's popped up into left center field over as Nicholas Williams, and he will make the catch in front of Bonamalo Jr. for out number 3. Pioneers with 3 runs on 4 hits. The question as to how many of those are earned. Take a 4-3 lead. Landon Tucker back out on the mound for the Pioneers here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Now has the lead. He will face 7, 8, and 9. Patrick Graham steps in. He's singled and drove in a run with a sacrifice fly. First pitch that he sees, sidearm delivery, fastball on the outside corner, called strike. Tucker on for his second full inning of work. Actually got a full inning after coming in with bases loaded in relief of Noah Eatman. This is his third inning of work. That ball is popped up out into center field. Jake Burris in to make the catch for out number one. Aiden Coffey steps in. Wabash Valley, the number 2 ranked team in junior college, just this week with Walters State. Right behind them at 3 is Aiden Coffey. Sees very low strike called there. Big boy. That will come back this way. You know, I said I wasn't sure he was 6'4". He's every bit of 6'4". Good sized fella. 0 for 2. Rips one foul down third baseline. Tuck ahead in the count. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Scoreboard is back up and numbers are there, but it is wrong on the count. There's a line drive right back to the pitcher's mound and into center field for a base hit. A 1-out knock for Coffey. Brings up Luke Odden, the shortstop, number 9 hole hitter. Odden, the switch hitter. Strikeout and a walk, squares around a bunt, pitch called a ball. That scoreboard shows 6 hits for the Warriors. I'm assuming they did not count an error, as squares a bunt again, and not sure where that pitch missed, but umpire did not call a strike. 2 balls, no strikes. I've got 6 hits, or 5 hits for the Warriors. 2-0 pitch in there for a called strike. And when the left-handed batters get in here, my sight line is diminished, seeing where the pitch actually is. Umpire blocked. 3 balls now, 1 strike, with a leadoff batter, John LeGrand, standing in the on-deck circle. There's a strike. Brings us to a full count. Ministries full count. We had a lot of full counts in the first couple innings of this game. 3 for 4 on full count first pitch foul balls. Haven't had one in a while. And there is strike 3 called. Throw down to second base. Now we got an argument about what's happening here. Strikeout and a stolen base is what we have. First strike, second strikeout by Landon Tucker. 2 outs, and John LeGrand steps in. LeGrand 0 for 2 with a walk. Tapper down to first base line, and it will roll foul. Landon Godsey makes the catch 3 steps into foul territory. 4th stolen base of the game for Wabash Valley. You weren't with us earlier. Started 125. Started this game with 125 stolen bases. Caught 19 times. They are 4 for 4 today as that ball is tapped foul, and not sure who took that one. I'm going to guess Vineyard took the brunt of that one. Although the way he's going out to take a little time there, maybe the umpire got that. Count goes no balls and 2 strikes to John LeGrand with Richard Bonamalo Jr. on deck. Tying run at second base. Pioneers up 4-3. Lifted up high in the air into center field. Jake Burris with sunglasses on and glove up in the air makes the catch for out number 3. No runs, 1 hit. No errors, 1 runner left on base. We're through 5 innings. Pioneers lead 4-3. We're scheduled for 9 innings here at Wabash Valley and Mount Carmel, Illinois. You're listening to the Vol State Sports Network. Well, apparently they ran out of music here at Wabash Valley. No music between innings there, which is very, very nice. Pioneers sent 9 batters to the plate in the 5th inning. Big J. Charlo will lead off once again for Vol State. He will square around the bunt. Will take a called strike on a eye-high breaking pitch. That's the first pitch I've seen that high called a strike today. There's another breaking pitch from the left-hander. Big J. Charlotte down in the count, no balls and 2 strikes to left-hander Aiden Deacons. Came on in relief of Maddox Pennington. And he will look at 3 breaking pitches and go have a seat. And apparently was an uncomfortable at-bat for Jay Charla. First strikeout for Deacons. That brings Matt Hall to the plate. Charla led off the 5th with a base hit into right center field, and Matt Hall followed that up with a base hit into left field. They later scored. That's the 4th breaking pitch, and home plate umpire does not call that a swinging strike. Checks down at first base as ball gets by in from the bullpen down the right field line. Oops, they did not call that a strike. I thought he went, but nobody else did. He went on that one. 1 ball, 1 strike to a sophomore from Lexington, Kentucky, the son of Mark and Tracy Hall. Deacons hit the first batter that he faced, Brody Melton, but then ended up getting Braden Vineyard to fly out to left field to end the Pioneer threat in the 5th. All 3 of those runs were earned despite the error. Adams popped up into shallow center field. Back goes Auden and Graham, and in comes Bonamalo Jr. to call both the infielders off for out number 2. in the Bermuda Triangle that is behind second base. Got to have good communication on a pop-up like that. Got a pinch hitter for Ethan Huddleston. Corbin Overbay will come on to hit for Ethan, who finishes the game 2 for 3 in a run scored. Corbin Overbay from Sevierville, Tennessee, facing a hard-throwing lefty, Aiden Deacons. Which reminds me, today is, I believe, the 17th birthday of my nephew in Sparta, Tennessee, White County, Aiden Vest. Swing and a miss on a fastball. Overbay, a true freshman. Number 25. Swing and a miss on another high fastball. You're going to have to get that, raise those hands up a little bit if you're going to swing at that high fastball. Overbay is hitting .364. This is his 11th game of the year. They're going to go high and outside on that one. The count goes 2 balls and 2 strikes. Played a little bit here of late, 4 hits and 11 at-bats. A double and a home run. 2-2 pitch, down low. He'll face a Full Count Ministries full count. Probably come in and play second base, and Matt Hall will move over to shortstop to replace Ethan Huddleston. Not sure if he tweaked that hamstring or not. Strike called on a shin-high fastball. Down goes Overbay as the wind picks up. Summit Concrete call to the bullpen for the Pioneers. John Tomlinson, 6'3", 180-pound redshirt freshman, on to face 2, 3, and 4 in the lineup for Wabash Valley from Lebanon, Tennessee, Lebanon High School. First pitch to Richard Bonamalo Jr., just outside. Tomlinson, the son of Keith and Kim Tomlinson, brother to Lauren. Now 2 balls and no strikes to center fielder Richard Bonamalo Jr., who is 1 for 3 in today's game, and things stay according to average. He's going to get a base hit here. He's hitting .468, but Tomlinson's staying away. John has a paw in Lebanon and a grandma also in Lebanon. He is a 4-pitch walk to Richard Bonamalo Jr. in front of Nicholas Williams. That is the 8th walk of the game by Pioneer pitching. That is now ball 5. Looks like Colin Athey getting loose in the bullpen for Vol State already. Been a little while since Tomlinson's pitched. Timeout call. Braden Vineyard will go out and talk to the transfer from MTSU. And along with pitching coach, Braden Vineyard will step out there. I guess that's what they play when the pitching coach or somebody, there's a visit to the mound. Not really sure what that is all about, but Tomlinson, 9th appearance, 8th in relief, 2-1 record, 18 2/3 innings, giving up 18 hits, 10 runs, walked 12, struck out 19 batters, 4.82 ERA. He is facing Nicholas Williams, a 3-hole hitter who has not been retired yet today. He's a single and 2 walks. Coach McGuire checking on mound visits and all kinds of administrative record keeping by the home plate umpire. You better like keeping up with mound visits. And Tomlinson last pitched on April 11th against the Lake Area Academy. There's a strike. And Zach Williams, my summer broadcast partner, why did I put ball up there? He would say you're 1 for 1 on mound visits, then resulting in a next pitch strike. 2 balls in the strike to Williams. Now 2-2. That one right down the can. I'm really surprised that Williams did not take a hack at that one. He singled and drove in Bonamalo in the first and has walked in his next 2 times up. And that pitch gets in the dirt and away from Vineyard. Bonamalo will get down to second base easily. Count moves to a full count. Ministries full count on the wild pitch. Pioneer scored 1 in the second to tie the game. Then we're down 3-1 after Wabash Valley scored 2 in the third. Pioneers with 3 earned runs in the top of the 5th took the 4-3 lead. There's a drive out to center field. Back goes Burris, and that ball is going to be gone. That is toasted out of here to dead center field, and Wabash Valley has taken the lead back on a 2-run home run by Nicholas Williams, his 9th of the year. He now has 3 RBIs in the ball game, and he's 2 for 2 on base all 4 times. First base coach had to come in and get the bat that Williams used. It must have been hiding on the artificial surface here that surrounds home plate. Jorge Rodriguez steps in after the Nicholas 2-run home run that scored Bonamalo, who walked. John Tomlinson struggling mightily here in the bottom of the 6th inning. 2-0 count now to Jorge Rodriguez. 2-0 pitch swung on and tapped foul. '34th home run of the year for Wabash Valley. That ball coming right at me. I blocked it though. Three balls and a strike. There's a strike on the outside corner. Just do a full count. Ministries full count. Thanks to Jacob Oldham and Josh Carmen. Breed Glover. Full count at ball 4. That may be the end of the line for John Tomlinson, as I see Coach McGuire coming out of the dugout. That'll be a 3-batter outing for Big John Tomlinson. Landon Tucker went 3 innings, gave up 1 hit, walked 3 batters, did not give up any runs, struck out 2 in his relief appearance. John Tomlinson did not record an out either. We'll be right back after this short break. Summit Concrete call to the bullpen. Colin Athey out of the bullpen. He will face a pinch hitter. Tall left-handed batter Landon Johnson, number 41 from St. Louis, Missouri. Pinch hitting for Bruce Jellison. First pitch from Athey down in the dirt. Colin Athey from Centerville, Maryland, on for his 5th appearance. Nobody out. Now the count, 2 balls and no strikes. Landon Johnson hitting .311. 1 home run, 21 RBIs. There's a strike. A walk and a 2-run homer by Nicholas Williams has given Wabash Valley the lead, 5-4 here in the bottom of the 6th. There's a big swing and a miss. High fastball. Tomlinson then walked the 3rd batter that he faced, Jorge Rodriguez, and that was all she wrote. There's a ground ball that will get into right field. See if Rodriguez stops at second. He will, as Jace Mizell overthrows the cutoff man, but Carter Vrabel there to make the snag. Another pinch hitter for the Warriors. Keaton Mahan on to hit for Daniel Contreras. Nobody out. Runners at first and second base, hitting from the left side. There's a fastball in there for a called strike. Two hits in the inning, 2 runs have come across for Wabash Valley. Athey with a couple looks back at second base and a fastball high and away. Keaton Mahan from Westfield, Indiana, transfer from Ohio State University, 6'1", 200-pound freshman outfielder. Pinch hitting for catcher Daniel Contreras. Drive into left field. That'll get down, and it will scoot by Jay Sharla. Won't get to the wall, but 1 run will score. And here comes the 2nd run from first base, a 2-run double by Keaton Mahan, or Mahan, M-A-H-A-N. Wabash Valley goes up 7-4. Patrick Graham, the second baseman, steps in with nobody out and a runner at second. Matt Hall went all the way to the bag, and there's a square to bunt. Back to Athey. He will throw to Landon Godsey in a sacrifice bunt. Moves the runner to third base. Aiden Coffey, the third baseman and number 8 hitter in the lineup, steps in with infield in. 4 runs already in the inning. There's breaking pitch in the dirt, blocked by Vineyard. Coffey 1 for 3, singled in the 5th. Was stranded at second base. 3 hits in the inning, 1 the big blow, the 2-run, actually 2 big blows. 2-run home run by Nicholas Williams, And a 2-run double by Keaton Mahan. There's a fastball swung on a missed. On deck shortstop, switch hitter Luke Odden. So Patrick Graham now has a sacrifice fly and a sacrifice bunt. Hitting .353, and he's sacrificing. We call a balk. Have no idea what he did, but Coach Jim McGuire will come out of the dugout, find out from the home plate umpire as to what happened. So a balk scores another run. Now nobody on base, but 5 will come across home plate. Wabash Valley leads 8-4. And only 1 out. 1-1 count to Aiden Coffey. Two balls and a strike. Athey last pitched against Southwest Tennessee. 12-5 loss. Got 2 innings. Did not give a hit. There's a ground ball to Vrabel, 2 hops, and steps back, throws into dirt. Picked nicely by Landon Godsey for out number 2. Carter Vrabel with a point over to Godsey. Number 9 hitter Luke Odden steps in, 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts and a walk. Colin Athey looking to get out of this inning, get his Pioneers back in the dugouts. First pitch in there for a called strike. Breaking pitch misses inside. Athey, 6'1", 200-pound freshman. Son of Joe and Maureen Athey, brother to Egan, LMA, Colleen, and Charlotte. Has a grandma Mary. There's a strike 2. Had a 0 ERA coming in. Had pitched well and given up a single, a double for getting the next 2 outs. 2 balls, 2 strikes. That ball gets in the dirt. We'll have a full count. Ministries full count. Collins pitched 6 innings. Had not given up a hit until today or a run. Walked 1, struck out 2. Had faced 18 batters. 3-2 pitch coming. Swung on and tapped foul at the plate. That is 4 of 5. Full count, first pitch foul balls. Since we won't be able to do it during the, have to do it this next inning, we'll have the Toyota of Gallatin alumni spotlight in the Pioneers. Hit another 3-2 pitch. Missed somewhere. Couldn't see where the pitch went, but ball 4 as Odden goes down to first. Leadoff batter John LeGrand steps in. He's 0 for 3 with a walk. 2 outs. Odden down there at first base. See if he tries to swipe a bag. Doesn't go on that pitch. Fastball high. On with 22 stolen bases. Second on the squad. There's a called strike. gift to Colin Athey right there. Pitch looked pretty wide of the mark. Same pitch, called ball 2. LeGrand, the 9th batter to come to the plate for Wabash Valley here in the 6th. Runner goes. Hard shot down, and I'm not sure how if that went to the side of Godsey or not. Gets into right field. Runner's going to come to the plate. Throw is going to be in time to get Odden, who was stealing on the pitch. So a base hit and a throw out by Jace Mizell to retire Odden for out number 3. But the Warriors score 5 runs on 4 hits. No errors. 1 runner left on base. 8-4. Wabash Valley leads after 6. 2/3 of the way through. We got some new players out on the field for Wabash Valley. New pitcher on the mound for Wabash Valley, left-hander Jackson Soucy, Soucie, and he'll be visited by his new catcher, who I don't know who that is. I can't see a number. It's not Daniel Contreras. Guess it could be Jorge Rodriguez that came in from first base. Guessing that's what it is, because Nicholas Williams has moved in from left field to first base, and Keaton Mahan has moved out to left field. Soucy will deliver the first pitch to Jake Burris, who lines one foul down the right field line. Soucy from Cambridge, Ontario, 6'4", 225-pound freshman. Faced 2, 3, and 4. Swing and a miss on a fastball outside. So while the pride of Grove City is at the plate, our Toyota of Gallatin spotlight is alumni spotlight is former teammate in high school and at Vol State, Gavin Wolf, 6'2", 205-pound right-handed pitcher and now outfielder. And Burris will wave at a fastball outside for the first out. Gavin Wolf, also from Grove City, went to Grove City High School, played a year ago with the Pioneers, got in 6 games in relief, 5 2/3 innings, a 1.59 ERA. Now pitching and playing the outfield at Otterbein, about 45 minutes away from his hometown near Columbus, Ohio. Hitting a .404 as I checked on the bus ride up here today. Landon Godsey steps in. He was a teammate of Gavin Wolf last year. Gavin Wolf, the Toyota of Gallatin alumni spotlight today. Godsey almost gets clipped again. He is 0 for 1 and grounded into a double play in the first, was hit by a pitch in the third, and a sacrifice fly in the 5th inning. Gave the Pioneers a 4-3 lead at the time, and he dribbles one down to first base. Nicholas Williams collects it and will step on the base for out number 2. Jace Mizell steps in. He's 2 for 3 with a home run and a single. Umpire going to throw that ball out. Apparently it hit right on the end of the bat. There was a lot of English on that ball hit by Landon Godsey. It's now 0 for 2. Mizell's .359 has been raised so far. He came in hitting .359. Pops that one up and should be pretty easy. Bonamalo Jr. comes in from center field to make the catch for out number 3. 3 up, 3 down in the top of the 7th inning. You're listening to the Vol State Sports Network. Dan Reinhardt now on the mound for the Pioneers in relief of Colin Athey. Colin Athey from Collinwood, Tennessee. Redshirt sophomore, first pitch to Richard Bonamalo Jr. is inside. New left fielder for the Pioneers, Drew Webster. In for Jay Sharla. 6th pitcher for head coach Jim McGuire. He has gone 3 balls, no strikes. Reinhardt, his 9th appearance. There's a called strike. Bonamalo Jr. was ready to take his 4-pitch walk. He's 1 for 3. Scored twice. There's ball 4 inside. Pinch runner for Bonamalo Jr. is number 22, Michael LaRue, as Nicholas Williams steps in. Sees fastball high and outside. Five runs in the bottom of the sixth gave Wabash Valley the lead back, and now they are up 8-4. Breaking pitch down low in the dirt. Vineyard able to keep it in front of him. Williams is 2 for 2, has singled, drove in a run in the first, walked and scored in the third, walked in the fourth, was picked off, and then hit a 2-run home run in that 5-run sixth. Runner does not go. There's a fastball low and away, and the count back to 3 balls and no strikes to the second hitter that Danton Reinhardt has faced. Reinhardt 14 innings, giving up 17 hits, 12 runs, 10 earned, 10 walks, 9 strikeouts. Danger of walking. Another batter, as he now has walked 11 on the season. 3-1 count now to Williams. Runner starts to go, and that is fouled back to the screen, and we'll have a full count. Ministries full count. Thanks to our sponsors, MGM Industries, Right Rug Flooring, who sponsors our player of the game. We'll name the Right Rug Flooring player of the game at the end of the game. Have to be an abbreviated post game. And there is a pop-up right field that will probably get out of, or in foul territory and drop, as Corbin Overbay and Jace Mizell gave chase, but a 5th full count first pitch foul ball down that right field line. LaRue was going on the pitch. On deck is Jorge Rodriguez, who moved from first base to catcher. The full count pitch, Danton Reinhardt trying to get a ground ball. Runner does not go. It gets another foul ball off to the right side. Keegan Evick getting loose down in the Pioneer bullpen. Drew Webster, true freshman from CPA, is out in left field as Reinhardt throws over to first. Came on for Jay Sharla. LaRue leads off, and he does not go. There's a ground ball in the hole, and this will be a tough play, and it will get into left field. Matt Hall, who was playing over towards second base, not able to get to that one. Runners now at first and second. Jorge Rodriguez, 1 for 2, scored 2 runs, steps in with nobody out. 2 runners on. Colin Athey goes 1 inning, gives up 3 hits, 2 runs. They were earned, walked 1. And that pitch will come in and hit Rodriguez, and the bases are loaded. Pinch runner for Jorge Rodriguez is Yamil Torres. And Landon Johnson's at the plate. He singled and scored in the 6th. Now up with bases loaded. Looks at a first pitch from Dan Reinhardt for a called strike. Let's get that runner over there on third. Big left-hander here. That ball will get in the dirt and get by Vineyard all the way to the backstop. So another run will come in for Wabash Valley on the wild pitch. So at least 2 runs that have scored on wild pitches. One ball, 1 strike. Infield is in. That's Vrabel at third, Matt Hall at short, Corbin Overbay at second. And Landon Godsey has a ball slide right by him, and that'll be a single in the right field. And 2 runs will come in on that missile to right field. Wabash Valley now leads 11-4, and out of the dugout will come head coach Jim McGuire, and that will be the end of the day for Danton Reinhardt. We'll take a break, tell you about Keegan Evick when we return on the Vol State Sports Network. Summit Concrete called the bullpen. Keegan Evick on relief of Danton Reinhardt. He will face Keaton Mahan, M-A-H-A-N. 1 on and nobody out, called strike. Evick, a sophomore, second-year player for Coach McGuire, 6 foot, 180 pounds, sophomore from Clarksville, Tennessee. Attended Rossview High School. Son of Curtis and Tracy Evick. That ball is flared into left field, and that'll get down right in front of Drew Webster. Runners now at first and second. Wabash Valley with 11-4 lead, trying to walk this off. If they get 3 more runs, this ball game will be over. We have a pinch hitter for Patrick Graham. Zamorian Hatcher. Zamarian Hatcher from Chicago, Illinois. Pitch in the dirt, blocked by Braden Vineyard. Hatcher, 5'11", 185-pound sophomore. Hitting .299, playing in game 33 of the year. Another pitch into the dirt. He's pinch hitting for Patrick Graham, who went 1 for 2 at sacrifice fly and a sacrifice bunt. There's a strike called. Two on, nobody out. Bottom of the 7th at a swing and a miss. Breaking pitch. Leadoff batter walked. Second batter singled. And a hit batter loaded the bases. Wild pitch as Hatcher strikes out looking for the first out. Aiden Coffey steps in. Keegan Evik and the Pioneers now 1 pitch away from getting out of the inning. Hit a ground ball to a middle infielder. Looking for a do-dat double play. There's a fastball high and tight. Been a while since we've had a do-dat double play. Do-dat Communications, owned by Craig Sennard in Hendersonville, provided signage for our newly remodeled press box and the locker rooms. The changeup gets in there on the outside corner for a called strike. Thank Craig Sennard over at Do-Dat Communications. They're also providing some signs for the conference tournament. That's a drive out to left field. Drew Webster comes on to make the catch for out number 2 on that line drive. Hit right at the left fielder. Pinch hitter for Luke Auden, Mac Mitchell steps in with 2 outs and 2 on. There's a fastball at the knees, called strike. Mitchell, 6 foot, 185-pound redshirt freshman from Toronto, Ontario. A couple Canadians on the squad, along with some fellas from Puerto Rico. Oh, just gets behind Braden Vineyard. Throw down to third base. That will hit Johnson in the helmet. And he will come on in to score. The throw down by Vineyard. So that will be I think it's a pass ball. And then an error. We'll get the 12th run in. Might be a wild pitch. No Vineyard. I thought he had a glove on it. He went down to as though to block it, but the errant throw that hit Johnson in the helmet. There's a called strike. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Carter Vrabel couldn't get his glove in front of Johnson's head. 4 runs now in the inning. Just missed with that one. Scoreboard here has not updated to add in the 12th run. But ball's driven to shallow center field. In comes Burris. Should be able to make that catch, and he does for out number 3. 4 runs on 1, 2, 3 hits. Not an error, but a pass ball is considered an error for earned run purposes. 1 runner left on base. 12-4, Wabash Valley leads. Top of the 8th we go. Carter Vrabel stands in. We should have a bunch of new players out here. It's kind of hard for me to figure out who they all are, but still have Jackson Susie on the mound. Mac Mitchell out at second base. Swing and a miss. Yamil Torres is at shortstop. Gonna find out who the new left fielder was from last inning. There's a breaking pitch in there for a called strike. Keaton Mahan out in left field. Michael LaRue is in center field. I believe that's still John LeGrand out in right field. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Carter Vrabel, third baseman for the Pioneers. He is 1 for 2. Has singled and walked. Extended his hitting streak in the 2nd inning to now 8 games as he looks at a ball outside. We'll have a Full Count Ministries full count. On deck, Brody Melton. Apparently problems with the scoreboard here. Score still says 11-4. There is a full count, first pitch, foul ball. It is number 6 out of 7 today. We are creeping up to the 60% mark. We'll do it all over again. Shot up the middle and gets by the glove of Torres into center field. That is Carter Vrabel's 2nd hit of the ball game. Brody Melton, who was hit by a pitch, steps in. He was the first batter that Aiden Deakins saw. Deakins ended up going 1 1/3, struck out 2, hit that one batter. It's the only one that he allowed on base. Melton swings and misses at that fastball. Let's get Vrabel on first. How about it? Pioneers play the last conference series of the year this weekend against Motlow State. A lot on the line for that. Getting in the top 6 is what the Pioneers are looking to do. There's a fastball. It's missed by our new catcher, but called a strike. As Jorge Rodriguez has to be out of the game. He was the second man behind the plate. 0-2 pitch, just a little high. Nicholas Williams still at first base, and Aiden Coffey still at third. A single-digit number behind the plate. Swing and a miss. Down goes Melton for out number 1. Second strikeout for Susie. Caleb Hawkins steps in to hit for Braden Vineyard, former Warrior. He will come in to catch the bottom of the 8th inning from Stewart's Creek High School. Swings and foul tips that one into the mitt. Pioneers gave up 5 runs in the 6th and 4 in the 7th as Susie throws over to first. Nothing doing there. On deck is Drew Webster. Swing and a miss. Hawkins now down in the count, no balls and 2 strikes. Redshirt sophomore has his pilot's license. Wants to be a pilot in the future. Rips one toward the Wabash Valley dugout. Hits down low, the netting. They build these dugouts with the railing low so that you can see over it, but the problem is, get a foul ball in there, you're not paying attention, you're going to get drilled. 0-2 pitch. Swing and a miss on the outside fastball. Outside corner, by the way. That was a good pitch. Drew Webster will step to the plate for his first at-bat. Carter Vrabel still standing at first base where he led off with a single. Drew Webster, freshman, Christ Presbyterian Academy. Outfielder and a catcher, fouls the first pitch he sees off. Playing in game number 7. Has 3 hits in 12 official at-bats, hitting .250. 2 of those 3 hits are doubles, 3 RBIs. Pitch down low, looked like a changeup. Foul tip into the mitt. Logan Murphy maybe is this. I hear him saying Murph. He's wearing number 21, but we'll see when he comes to the plate. There's a pitch that gets down in the dirt, and that will get by far enough for Carter Vrabel to move down to second base. Count goes with 2 balls and 2 strikes. Looks to me like a single digit behind home plate, but maybe he's wearing a different number. Webster starts to go. Ball gets by the catcher, and Webster will reach first base on the, a pass ball. Vrabel will move down to third base. So another strikeout. 4th strikeout by Susie, but pass ball puts him on first. Vrabel moves to third. Matt Hall steps in. He is 1 for 3. Runners at the corners, line to line. Runners at the corners. First pitch to Hall, in there for a called strike. Line to line, provided all the padding and netting around the Pioneer Field at the Tim Garrett Baseball Complex back in Gallatin, Tennessee. Another pitch in the dirt. This one blocked by the catcher that I'm assuming is Logan Murphy from Cincinnati, Ohio, my hometown. 6'1", 195-pound redshirt freshman. Pioneers trying to scratch to get a few more runs here. On deck, Corbin Overbay. Pioneers down 12-4. Thankfully, I've been in the shade for the whole game. Here's a drive out to left field, and that will get down. Diving attempt by Mahan. Looks like 2 runs will score on the double by Matt Hall. Pioneers now down by 6. Both unearned runs. Carter Vrabel singled start off the inning, and Drew Webster, who struck out but reached on the pass ball or wild pitch. I'm not sure how the official scorer will score that. If it's a wild pitch, it's their earned runs. Corbin Overbay gets a shot here in the top of the 8th inning. Just missed down low with that fastball. Overbay struck out looking to end the 6th inning on a pitch that I didn't think was close to the strike zone. That's the same pitch umpire almost started to call that a strike. Started at just a little after 2 o'clock Central Time, and we've just gone over 5 o'clock, so it's a 3-hour ball game so far. Pioneers have a 3.5-hour drive home. Probably stop for dinner on the way back, so be a late night getting back for the players and for us older folks as well. That's a good pitch on the outside corner at the knees for called strike. Overbay entered the game for Ethan Huddleston. In the 6th inning, Huddleston went out with 2 for 3 day, scored a run. There's a ground ball back to the pitcher, and Susie, tall left-hander, ends up corralling that one and flipping to first base for the 3rd out. Pioneers score 2 runs on 2 hits. We're heading to the bottom of the 8th. Number 21, Logan Murphy, steps in. He's hitting for John LeGrand, so apparently that was not John LeGrand out in right field. And he will face new Pioneer pitcher Noah Ward, freshman from Knoxville, Tennessee. Here in the bottom of the 8th inning, he will deliver the first pitch to Caleb Hawkins, our new catcher, for ball 1. There's a fastball in there for a called strike. This scorebook is a mess. Breaking pitch misses low. Noah Ward, the 8th pitcher for Vol State today. Logan Murphy playing in game number 18 of the season. He looks at ball 3 as the scoreboard. I look up there and I see it is completely wiped, as they're apparently trying to recreate it again, apparently having issues with their scoreboard. They don't have a Toyota Gallatin brand new scoreboard. We have a Full Count Ministries full count, and Logan Murphy reaches out and touches that one. Drops one into first base, a big turnaround first, but he will head back to the base with a leadoff single. It is Logan Murphy's Sorry, folks, we got to turn that down when the music comes on. We don't want to get kicked off of YouTube. Logan Murphy's 5th hit of the year. And Michael LaRue steps up for his first at-bat. Fouls that one off the screen. Came on as a pinch hitter for Richard Bonamalo Jr. in the 7th inning. LaRue hitting .388. He's playing in game number 43. He's got 26 starts on the year, so normally he's in there. Hitting from the left side with one of those big orange bats. Takes that fastball high. So Logan Murphy on at first base, the 3rd catcher for Wabash Valley. Singled into right center. Hot shot past the first base coach. Don't know who that is. Could be Evan Heilich or Matt Morrow. A couple other coaches on Aaron Biddle's staff, according to the online, or the website online. My first trip here to Wabash Valley. Beautiful setting as that pitch goes high on tips off the glove of Caleb Hawkins. Down to second base will go Murphy on the wild pitch. That one got away from Noah Ward. On deck, another pinch hitter. Looks like number 3, Luke Evans, will be coming on to hit for Nicholas Williams. There's a ground ball to the right side. Gotze will glove and flip to Noah Ward, covering first base for out number 1. Luke Evans from Owensboro, Kentucky, 6 foot, 190-pound freshman, on to pinch hit for Nicholas Williams, who had a heck of a day. 3 for 3 on base all 5 times he came to the plate. There's a breaking pitch for a called strike as the infield is in. 13 hits for Wabash Valley to go along with their 12 runs. I believe 11 of those 12 are earned. There's another breaking pitch in there for a called strike. Luke Evans getting into game number 12, hitting .286, 4 for 14 in limited action. He starts to go on another breaking pitch, but holds up. The 1-2 popped up. That'll get out of play. Just to my right, hits a tree and comes back just right behind the stands. Count remains 1 ball and 2 strikes. On deck, Yamil Torres, who also came on to pinch a run in the bottom of the 7th. Connor Moss, the new third baseman for the Pioneers, coming in on the grass. That pitch misses outside. So Connor Moss at third, Matt Hall at short, Corbin Overbay at second, Landon Godsey, who started this game, still at first base. Drew Webster in left, Jake Burris in center, Jace Mizell in right field, Caleb Hawkins behind the plate. 2-2 pitch at the knees for called strike 3. Nice pitch by Noah Ward. A 1 out and a runner at third base. Know how I have 2 outs up there. Where did we get 2 outs? Well, I've missed a batter. That's what it is. The scorebook got so confused. We got 2 outs. I got it fixed. Missed that ground out 3-1 in my book. Fastball stays high. 2 balls and 1 strike to Torres, the shortstop, with Landon Johnson standing on deck. Torres' first plate appearance came on as a pinch runner for Jorge Rodriguez in the bottom of the 7th. 2 balls and a strike. 2 outs. Infield now back. Ground ball up the middle. Matt Hall fumbles and picks it up and throws Torres out at first base. So no runs scored. Nice play by Matt Hall to recover after that ball came up. Looked like it hit him in the arm. 6-3 put out. We're heading to the top of the 9th. Pioneers need 6 to tie this one up. You're listening to the Vol State Sports Network. Top of the ninth, and we missed the 8th inning that we normally reserve for tribute to the only number that has ever been retired at Pioneer Baseball. That is the number 8, formerly worn by Hayden Schrum, who passed away in 2010 of leukemia. Jake Burris at the plate here in the top of the ninth, facing new pitcher Charez Butcher, C-H-A-R-E-Z. Charez. Just call him Rez is what it sounds like to me. I think I'd rather go with Rez Butcher than C-H-A-R-E-Z. From Kokomo, Indiana, formerly at the University of Tennessee and at Gulf Coast State. That tapper right in front of the plate. Logan Murphy out, and he gloves and throws onto first base for out number 1. Burris finishes the day 0 for 4. And Landon Gotze steps to the plate. He's also looking for a hit. He's 0 for 2 with a hit by a pitch and a sacrifice fly. 12-6. There's a hot shot to shortstop. Cannot glove it. He gets a, well, he does get a glove on it, but that should be scored an E6 would be my guess, even though it was hit pretty well, but kind of olayed that a little bit. Gotze be on first base. That is the third error on Wabash Valley, according to my ugly-looking scorebook. Mizell hits one down to third. Coffee to second base, on to first, not in time. They get the force out of Gotze. 5-4, and Pioneers now down to their last out. Connor Moss will step into the box for his first plate appearance. Replaces Carter Vrabel, who went 2 for 3. Connor Moss, another Stewart's Creeker. That pitch is yanked and right in front of me, and down will go Mizell to second base on the wild pitch. Connor Moss looking for his first hit of the year, 0 for 3, playing in game number 5, redshirt sophomore. That'll be a great time, Connor, to get it. Fastball stays high. I'm going to name Matt Hall our right rug player, or flooring player of the game. He goes 2 for 4. There's a ground ball to shortstop. Torres up and over to first base to retire Moss and end the ball game. Pioneers lose 12-6. I'm sure we'll have music going, so we'll have to keep this abbreviated. If they shut it down here quickly, I'll try to come back on, but I don't think it will. So Pioneers lose 12-6. We'll be back on the call against Motlow State this weekend. Thanks for joining me. This is Tim Reese for Bobby Hudson and Jim McGuire saying so long for now from Wabash Valley College, Mount Carmel, Illinois. God bless you.